What's good, guys? I know y'all been wanting an update on my sensitivity settings, but today I have no update for y'all because my sensitivity hasn't changed since my last video, and I've been keeping it the same because my games have been solid and I plan to keep it that way. I will post my current sensitivity settings in the comments, and for the video, I'll give you an explanation and a little demonstration on the sensitivity settings to help you better understand what they mean. This way, you can better understand and maneuver your settings the way you like so it's comfortable for you. First off, I use a Type B controller preset. I started on Type A when the game came out and played with that preset for a couple months. I then wanted to switch to Type B because I prefer and am used to holding down the left trigger to aim down my sights and shoot at my targets, just like any normal FPS game. I also feel Type B zooming in and zooming out time is slightly quicker and more efficient than Type A's, because when you have to click left trigger in order to aim down your sight and release aiming down your sight, it just takes too much time. The one and only negative thing I have to say about Type B is how you have to hold your breath. You need to put one finger on the aiming trigger and then also another finger on LB in order to hold your breath. This isn't comfortable for me whatsoever, but after hours of gaming, I kind of got used to it. Next up, we have dead zone. The lower number dead zone you have means your thumbstick will react with the slightest of touch. The higher number means you'd have to put more pressure on your thumbstick to really get your aimer moving. Left thumbstick dead zone is for your character movement, and right thumbstick dead zone is for your aim movement or look around camera. Here's a demonstration for dead zone movement. So as I explained, for dead zone, with your aimer, if it's a low dead zone and you just slightly push this, then your aimer will react. But if you have a higher dead zone and you slightly push this one way, your aimer will not move. You'll have to put more pressure. You have to put it all the way up or 3/4 of the way up if you have a higher dead zone. Same thing with your movement. Slightly do it with a low dead zone, your character will move. If you have a higher dead zone, you have to really push it all the way up in order to get your character moving. Now onto general sensitivity. This is the normal camera when looting buildings or scanning the area for opponents. I like mine at 10 because I like to look around buildings efficiently and quickly when looking for loot. I also like it high because when I hear a player shooting at me, I like to quickly whip over to the direction of the shots to hopefully spot the enemy taking shots so I can decide to either take cover or shoot back depending on the enemy position. This is also helpful with the free look camera. Scan your surroundings quicker when on the move. Aim acceleration. This setting confuses a lot of people, but let me demonstrate and explain it for you here. Alright guys, now we have aim acceleration, which confuses a lot of people. So if you have aim acceleration on, but on a low number, and you hold your thumbstick in one direction, whether you're aiming or not, it will slowly increase in speed, but very slowly because your number is low. If you have it on a high number and hold it in one direction, your aimer, whether you're zoomed in or not, will quickly increase in speed over time. If you have it off, there will be no gradual increase in speed as you're holding your thumbstick in one direction. So this is really helpful to know if you're aiming at a car quickly going past you and you're holding your thumbstick as you're following the car and shooting. If your aim acceleration is on, the speed of your aimer will increase as you're holding it in one direction. Same thing if you're following a person running in one direction. If you're holding this one way and shooting at them and you have aim acceleration on, your aimer will gradually increase in speed as you're holding this in one direction. So I hope this helps you guys understand aim acceleration a little bit more. Movement sensitivity is the movement of your character. So the higher this is, the less pressure you'd have to put on your thumbstick to really get your character moving in a quicker speed. The lower it is, the more pressure you have to put on your thumbstick to get your character moving at a high speed. This is really helpful in situations when you're strafing left and right while shooting. The higher it is here, your character will obviously move left and right a little bit quicker, so your aim may get out of hand, but you'll also be harder to hit. But also, if it's lower, you'll be easier to hit, but you could also control your movement and shoot at your target. I like mine exactly at 50. This way it's not too fast and not too slow. Just right in my opinion for myself. We also have the vertical sensitivity multiplier. If this is at 100, that means your vertical sensitivity will be equal with your horizontal sensitivity. So looking left and right will be the same, looking up and down. The speed will be the same. If you go higher, your vertical sense will be quicker than your left and right. So looking up and down will be quicker than looking left and right. If it's lower, your vertical sensitivity will be slower than your left and right. So you'll look slower up and down than you would left and right. I keep mine exactly 100 because I like everything the same, left and right, up and down. and that helps out with muscle memory. Over the shoulder aiming is your soft aim feature, where your character aims in either in third person over the shoulder, so you're not aiming down your sights, but if you're in first person, your character will slightly zoom in and your shots will be a bit more accurate. I had this at a 7 because this way I could quickly flick to my next target if needed, if they're in similar areas, which happens quite often because sometimes I like to hide behind objects and use my over the shoulder aiming in order to take one out on one side and then quickly over the shoulder aim on the other side and take the next opponent out. Now we go on to the optics. 1x optics are your iron sights, red dots, and hollow sights. I find it comfortable at 7. This makes it not too fast for running targets, easy to control recoil when firing at still targets, and can also follow moving vehicles if I decide to take some pop shots at them. At least the slower moving vehicles. I rarely bother to take shots at the bike or the Murado. 2x optics is a 2x scope, and the 3x optics is a 3x scope. These I have comfortably at a 7, though I don't use these scopes too often because I am more of a red dot kind of guy. A 2x is pretty useful for any situation. Can be used for near and far range. 3x as well. You'll be a bit more scoped in, but you can still maneuver and get the feel of what you're zoomed into if you accidentally scope in with the 3x. 4x I have really slow at a 3. Sometimes it is annoying when wanting to scan an area in the distance because I like looking around more efficiently and quickly. But in situations when aiming at an opponent and wanting to be spot on when taking a shot, then having it slow and controlled is where it's comfortable for me. 6x is also slow and controlled for me. A bit faster than the 4x, but the 6x is my favorite scope of them all. The zoom is perfect with the sniper and I can easily hit quick shots if the guy's taking shots at me. If I'm getting shot at in the open, then I like to quickly spot the guy, zoom in and take a shot because it is either I die before I get to cover or he dies for missing too many shots. 8x, also slow and controlled. Not big on this scope, but I'll use it here and there. 15x I rarely get. The zooming is too much for me, and it's really not useful at all. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. If this video helped at all, please give it a thumbs up. I'm shooting for 75 likes, so help me achieve that goal. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified when your video mine goes live. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Oh, we went to the trees.
Knocked another. By the rock, by the rock. Nice job. I knocked one.
Got him. Or one.
I knocked to that guy that you hit. I knocked another one. Knocked him.
Nice.
Knocked the guy dry.
It's coming down the hill.
Oh yeah.
He's shot one.
Let's go.
Nice.